This weekend in Girl World, Foodie Beauty hit a new rock bottom even lower than her several previous rock bottoms. In other news, Amberlynn confuses obsession with rubbernecking at the site of a wreck. Hey y'all, I'm back, because just like Foodie Beauty sweating through a power outage, I've made my decision to be here and I'm going to see it through even if it is a bad idea. Chantal was live for a little under 6 hours this weekend. Power came and went. She sweated and complained. Sala complained. They fought. She was selfish and horrible. He was snippy and frustrated. And it became very clear that Sala is struggling to keep her placated in their current abode. It also became very clear that either he lied about the living conditions in their humble love nest, or she ignored whatever he said and heard what she wanted to hear. Either way, it's obvious at this point that the fresh water and solar power situation type deal is not up to snuff for our foodie's needs. Now, Sala may have suggested that she should have waited a month or two while he got things set up better, but before we lay all of this at Chantal's feet and say he didn't want her to come there yet, let's take a step back. Keep in mind her story about getting into Syria in the first place and what she said about the house they're in. She didn't fly into Damascus or take a train or a bus. A taxi, she says, someone Salah knows, picked her up and drove her across the Lebanon-Syria border in the wee hours of the morning and even helped her through immigration? When asked about being doxxed in Syria, she says there's no house number on the house. It's just a building and a cluster of other identical buildings, and you'd never find it without someone showing you, without knowing it's there. She doesn't get into Syria and find him unless he wants her to. I imagine she threatened to cut him off or expose some info or something like that if he said no or not yet, give me time. He may regret it now, but he did this to himself, either just to shut her up and get a few extra bucks, or to get through checkpoints a little bit easier. Just like Chantal may regret it now, but she did this to herself, likely spurred on by visions of some imaginary Syrian red room where Sala could be getting up to all the things he used to get up to in her absence. Foodie then posted this, and I want to thank the viewer who left this comment on my previous Foodie Beauty video. The phrase disaster tourist perfectly sums up this situation. So let's watch as a useless, privileged Canadian who's there by pure choice for wholly selfish reasons exploits a tragedy for view. Shows us the sights. Here we are, folks, a glimpse of Syria post-war 2025, brought to you by the last person you wish to hear from on global affairs, politics, or armed conflict.
Hi guys! Now you can request a personalized video just for you from me.
Well, I'm glad she did find the time in all of this to update her cameo ad from the Kuwait version.
So check the description below for the link. Hello and welcome! This is my first vlog in Syria here in July 2025 after the fall of the Assad regime.
It's been about 6 days at this point. From what we've seen, she's not adjusting great, and neither is Sala, but let's see what happens.
I will do a lot more vlogging, inshallah, especially of the more touristy areas.
But she is afraid to go out alone, and there's frequent power outages. But don't worry about it, she's gonna vlog, it'll be fine.
So stay tuned for that, and as always, thanks for watching. So my journey starts with flying from Istanbul, Turkey to Beirut, Lebanon. I flew 9.5 hours from Montreal, Canada to
I swear if this ends up like that first impressions of Kuwait video where the whole thing is just her traveling to Kuwait and then it ends with welcome to Kuwait.
Start to Istanbul, and then I had a 12-hour layover there before flying to Beirut. I was so over traveling at this point. When I arrived at Beirut airport, I was picked up by a taxi service who helps you through immigration and takes you across.
Nothing to see here, just a taxi driver that Sala knows. It's fine, nothing sketchy. She can't read or speak Arabic and really has no idea, but it's fine, don't worry about it.
The border into Syria from Beirut, and he gave me an iced coffee and a water, and we were on our way. I decided to go the land border way into Syria from Lebanon instead of flying into Damascus, just because it was recommended that that's just a better way to go by others.
You came that way because that was the way Sala arranged for you to come, for reasons. And you didn't fly into Damascus, maybe because you don't want to officially be on record as in Syria, for reasons. Just a thought.
Travelers. So here I am in the taxi. I've never been to Lebanon, so I was actually, or Syria, but I was actually taken aback by the mountain ranges and just the kind of hills, you know, the winding roads as we were driving along.
Newsflash, woman spends 2 years in Middle East, is surprised to learn it's not one giant sandbox.
3 a.m. here. I arrived in Beirut at 3 a.m., but the border only opens at 6 a.m., so we had some waiting to do before we could cross over. Here we are, finally in Syria after what felt like a million-hour journey. I'm finally here, and just like in Lebanon, I was taken aback at how beautiful the landscape in Syria was. So many mountains, and just like in Lebanon, I was amazed by the olive trees in Syria. I love olives. Like, olive is
It's still stabilizing and people have blessed everything, but olive trees. There's olive trees, y'all. You should go see the olive trees.
literally in my middle name. So when there are a lot of trees like this together, you can actually smell olives as you drive past. Olives are one of Syria's most ancient agricultural products. Olives have to be cured or brined for several weeks, though, so it's not like I can just pick them off trees and eat them. But
The fact that she knows this information and is bringing it up tells me she asked. That she's even stating you can't just pick them and eat them, they have to be cured for several weeks, tells me she asked if she could just pick them and eat them.
nonetheless, here we are driving around and past many olive trees. As you can see, the narrow roads in between buildings are quite bustling at times. There are people walking in the middle of the road, and you must beep your horn and they will just move out of the way. There are many small businesses and shops along either side of the street. These small shops, which are like convenience stores here in Syria, are called dukkans. I know I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but I am, after all, just an English speaking
We just saw this building. Why'd she loop the footage? That's weird.
Canadian woman. Because Syria has regular and prolonged power outages throughout the day, this shop owner and many others didn't have cold water or even any electricity at all, so no problem, at least he had water, which was good enough for us. Here we saw some livestock on the side of the road, and just people in general, but especially kids love to drive in the
I
back
love
of
that.
these trucks here with like the cage
That's
on
not terrifying
the
at
truck
all.
bed, and they hang on to it. This was making me extremely nervous for the boy in yellow, especially. A lot of buildings that look kind of dilapidated in between functioning buildings, but I'll just enjoy these clips here.
There's a lot of dilapidated buildings in between the functional buildings because of, the war and the fallout of all of the war. But, enjoy it. Enjoy the clips.
Of Syria. Between the dilapidated buildings, there is a beautiful landscape, just like these mountains here. And
Don't worry about the strife and ruin. Focus on the lovely landscape. There's mountains, there's olives. Olives, y'all. I know there's a bunch of bombed out buildings, but olives. Olives?
and so yeah, that's it. Here we go. Why did the chicken and her chicklets cross the road? And these are the only camels we've seen so far here in Syria. We passed by this KFC knockoff called KFG. I don't know what the G stands for, but
Oh, if you've been in Girl World a while, I think you know what that G stands for.
apparently they have crispy chicken and other dishes. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, I bet.
Now, this next series of clips is very sad, quite sad. It's the remains of a war-torn country. So I've just compiled a bunch of buildings that have been bombed, and a lot of them are in rubble, and these were once people's homes. So it's really, really sad. The ones that are not so bombed are littered with bullet holes. It's just so.
She's right. It is very sad. And it's also her sign that she does not need to be there unless she is there to offer something useful. Money, labor, Some other form of aid? You got something to offer? No, get out. You don't need to be in a place like this, eating food, drinking clean water, consuming medications, unless you're putting something back in that is of greater value. And we know she's not. She's a leech everywhere she goes.
Surreal to be driving past and seeing this. And what was more surprising to learn is that there are people still living in these ruins in their homes. And I would say probably because they don't have much choice.
Do you think, Chantal, do you think that's probably why? Because they had no choice and had to stay there? Unlike you, who had a choice, chose to go there, put a strain on a still stabilizing war-torn nation, put yourself in danger, and call it an exciting adventure. Absolutely vile.
Sadly. And my heart goes out to the people of Syria.
Oh, well, good. Her heart goes out to the people. She's just there to have a little adventure while she stalks her husband, but thoughts and prayers.
And inshallah, it can soon start to rebuild. I don't really know or remember the name of this location. There's a little bit of water there. Now, that canyon, that valley used to be full of water, but there's been some droughts. So, unfortunately, that's all the water that there was. Now, here's me trying to climb back up from going all the way down. And it was...
Oh, get back down in the hole where you belong.
Quite a workout. It wasn't too hot, actually. There was a nice breeze in the valley, but oh my goodness, this was a workout for me. As you can see, I'm trying to waddle up the mountain, but I also got to get some different clothing, so maybe some lighter clothing. But yeah, here I am just taking my time. Just taking a break here because it's a lot of exercise for somebody who's used to a sedentary lifestyle, but we've been going out and doing walks like this and just enjoying Syria's various landscapes.
Oh, well, I guess her tragedy diet's going well. Anyway, here's some rotisserie chicken.
And I'm going to end this vlog by showing you what we picked up for lunch to eat in the valley area.
That's the most life that's been in her voice since the olive trees.
Some chickens. Thanks for watching, and a lot more vlogs, inshallah, from Syria to come.
2 words, folks. Disaster tourist. There you have it, folks. Another regrettable foodie beauty field trip starring your tone-deaf host Chantal and Salah, the pest of a production assistant no one wanted back on set. Meanwhile, Amberlynn Reid is making her lives public again, apparently, so now you could watch her sit in the same spot and gaslight about why she skipped her weigh-in but not her bingo night for free. I'm sure we'll all flock to them now, just like rats to a flood. Wait, is that right? Whatever, no one cares. Like and subscribe if you think travel advisories are real and Amberlynn Reid's love life is fake, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.
You watched it, didn't you?